So in 10 years from now, 15 years from now, do you see any consoles outside of a Nintendo system? Like, do you see that we're going to have consoles in 15 years outside of Nintendo? Because I don't feel like we will. I feel like everything's moved to PC. It's going to be PC gaming and Nintendo,
I don't know. I mean,
especially
I
with like
feel
Sony and Microsoft. Obviously, operate. This is not that's not what they're built on. Their consoles. It's just a small piece of their giant companies. So, do you think we will have like the PlayStations and the Xboxes of the world in 15 years from now?
I think so. Now when it comes to Xbox, that's a question, right? Microsoft made it very clear, like with some of when you're looking at some of their subscription services and stuff like that, and kind of the failure of this generation of Xbox, that I think Microsoft might be more geared towards, let's just say, fuck it. Let's release games and sell them everywhere. And maybe we'll drop the Xbox in the next generation. But I don't know if I see the same thing with PlayStation. I think they're pretty set in their ways with it, at least for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny the like PlayStation, regardless
the PlayStation
of
5 is still tracking pretty far along the lines of PS4.
It is. It's going to it's hard to say if it'll cross 100 million units like the PS4 did, because the library of games doesn't look very attractive right now in terms of what we're looking forward to, but it has done well up to this point. But it's hard for me to see Microsoft and Xbox being around for sure. PlayStation's been successful every single console life cycle, every single one they've dominated. In the future, it just seems like so much is moving over to the PC side.
I mean, like, it's interesting because like I wouldn't be betting, like on the super big conglomerate companies to be forever in this business, because like it's every time the same thing. Like when Panasonic 3DO been introduced to the market, everyone been like, it's a Panasonic, it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like in big companies, people are like, oh, Sierra Online, if anyone remembers.
I had a Panasonic 3DO too. I had one.
Yeah, Sierra is here forever, it's like the dominating market company. And then there's just something happens, like, and those companies are out of business, and someone else shows up. And I really think that what we are having now in industry is real close to like Hollywood's overproduction crisis in 60s, like where most of the big companies had to go, and new companies showed up and they started to rebuild it almost from the scratch. I think that current generation and current vision of the consoles will go in 5-10 years, like maybe less than that. But I think that the idea of a house amenity, which is not as complex as the computer, like for a lot of people, for children to play, not really going anywhere. The problem of current console is that they became too predatory, and the problem is a combination of the chosen state. It's the same as mobile. They have one monopolized marketplace for all the software at the singular piece of hardware. I mean, like, and that gives people too much power. They start to disrespect their customer because they know that everything will go for them for whatever they do. I mean, like, there would be a console which is just a useful thing to play video games. I mean, like, and it would be more loyal to the customers and for people. I think it would be fine. I think that the issue is that companies cannot rewire themselves to start thinking outside of 15 years of financial anomaly where literally everything been allowed to them. And they need to, because those times are over. I mean, like, they need to adjust to the market. Like Ram says, be more frugal, be more listening to the customers, understand that they would make less money, but would be looking for the higher quality product. And they need to start thinking about, developers need to start thinking about how to have a full access to the product that they're developing without anyone telling them what to do about it. And about having the direct access to the client that they're working for, gamers. Because I think that this industry has been building a relationship in between developers and gamers, and everyone else are kind of just helping, isn't it? Right? Like, it's developers developing game for gamers who play games. So that should be the most important element of it.
Yeah, consoles have becoming more and more PC-like because, consoles used to have a lot of proprietary hardware, and it took a lot of investment for devs to learn the bells and whistles and how to exploit them. And now they're much more. I don't want to say generic because we're not there yet, but they're becoming more and more like PCs. I think we're looking at a future where the desire is to move away from the box that attaches to your television, right? And to have games that are powerful, that are graphically powerful, and that show off the capabilities on your big screen. And it fills a need that mobile does not. Mobile can't give you that big screen experience that people want, and people still want the big screen. That's why everyone's watching at home instead of movies in the theaters, but they're not going to watch it on their phone, right? They prefer to have this. So I think what everyone's trying to do is find out what's going to replace the box. And they tried streaming games for a long time, and there's all sorts of problems with that.
Yep.
No one's, Google obviously with Stadia failed with that, and
Amazon did the same thing with, I forget what theirs was called as well. I think they're still doing some stuff with that, but theirs kind of a failure too.
Yeah, it just doesn't work, and I don't see it working based on physics alone. But if someone were to and there's no way, if TVs were actually get together and and embed this stuff at a quality level, that would work. But they can't do that. I mean, their apps and things are inferior on their televisions.
What I see is the next generation is we're not going to have physical discs. Like that's pretty much done. I think next generation, I think everybody's going to try to move away from it. And then I think the next goal is going to be, you're going to have a box probably smaller than what it is now. And it's just the goal will be to get it either through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever onto your screen, controller in your hand, no cords. I think that's the next step in console gaming.